Ueda Reina is best known for her calmly psychopathic characters, but what you may not know is this girl lives like a psychopath. Like, she stares at her ceiling for hours on end because it's relaxing. Kind of crazy. Oh, and she even has a hand fetish? Though we'll get into that later. Ueda Reina first discovered voice acting through the acting club, where a middle school friend said, "I wanna become a voice actress." Uesama somehow respected this specific friend so much that she thought, if this friend is going for the voice acting industry, then it must be an amazing industry. After some consideration, she thought that she did want to do something to change this personality of hers, most likely talking about her social anxiety at the time, and decided to make voice acting her life goal. And so, after living a relatively normal high school life, 3 years later, as the high schoolers needed to submit their career plan to their school, Uesama submitted hers. Voice actress, and then realized the audition she was gonna apply for had its deadline in 3 days. She panically asked for her music teacher to lend her the music room for recording and safely submitted her audition last second. Just like that one smart kid in class that never studied and got straight A's, this last second submission somehow brought her all the way to the final audition round where she'd win second prize. Amazingly, one of the other winners in the same audition was legendary seiyuu Takashi Rie, who would become her closest friend and rival. We'll get to that soon. The audition was at well-known agency 81 Produce, where she'd entered their training school, 81 Actor Studio, in 2012 at 18 years old and have her debut in the same year in Inazuma 11 Go. From there, Uesama rose as a newcomer very quickly. A particularly insane event that helped spread her name was a role in Tesagure Bukatsumono, or should I say, roles, because she played as the entire 18 sisters, resulting in this batshit insane credits image where it's all her. The simple absurdity of it happening, especially to a newcomer, helped people remember her name more. In only 2 years after her debut, Uesama would start getting main roles like Judy from Harmony and a big one, Naru from Hanayamata, winning her the best newcomer at the 9th Seiyuu Awards. One particular role Uesama mentioned that really helped her grow was Sophie from Kuromukuro. Uesama just couldn't seem to grasp her character's feelings. It felt difficult to be in character, and she had a lot of trouble voicing her at the time. It wasn't until near the end of the anime, through lots of conflict resolving, that Uesama finally came to understand Sophie on a personal level. This development really helped her grow as a voice actress. She began to truly understand how to embody, be the character when voicing them, and this was evident by her booming roles that came after Sophie. The hype train then started choo-chooing. Mira from Dimension W, Baku Real Life, Rassy Girl from Pokemon, Idolmaster, MMO Junkie, Mew in Kariguda, Akane from SSSSSSSSSS Gridman, Gray, Kisa from Fruits Basket, Miyako in Angel, Darwin's Realist Hero, Assassin Isekai the Incest Girl, Tomodachi Game, Mio the Wife, this horny girl in Mushoku Tensei, Lemon in Mashle, Demon Slayer, Tahain in Solo Leveling, Chi, Ganyu Goat Milk, Sparkle, FGO, Project Sekai, Arknights, and soon Leze in Chainsaw Man. She's in everything. Now, if you look at this stacked resume, you might notice that quite a few of her bigger roles are characters with a few screws loose. Very specifically, the whisper in your ear sweetly and troll you, but you feel like something is off and suddenly you're fucking scared for your life crazy. Or at the very least, looks innocent but something feels a bit off and you don't know why, and it's because she's super cunningly manipulative. Crazy. Back then, this kind of became a joke where the Japanese would be like, another Uesama role, another psychopath. It wouldn't be Uesama if she didn't have something wrong with her. Unfortunately, these subtle psychopathic tendencies kind of slightly maybe leaked into Uesama's personal life. So way back then, right after she had passed her audition, she moved from her hometown in the Tomoya prefecture all the way to Tokyo. That's when she started living alone and would start developing some strange living habits. On her days off, she said she would literally spend the entire day sitting in her room, staring at the ceiling, get hungry at night, and proceed to go to bed. Yes, this is how Ueda Reina used to spend her breaks. Self-inflicted white room torture. Humans were given free will for this? Then there's her eating life. So she used to not like the idea of having food and even drinks in her house because she couldn't stand the strong life energy, whatever the fuck that means. Hence, she chose to live without a fridge, with no food or drinks at home at all times. And she did all of this for years. Is the ceiling where she gets the energy? Is she doing photosynthesis with the ceiling light? It wasn't until 2016, after her facing difficulties in acting the role of Sophia and overcoming them, that she started to open up to people more. Her social anxiety eased, she started inviting people to her house on days off, and most importantly, get a goddamn fridge. I've heard of strange living habits before, but how do you live staring at ceilings and of your own will without a fridge in your house for like 4 years? What the hell is a strong life force? Will you eat rocks? Psychopathic tendencies aside, or not really aside, because Ue-sama and Takashi Rie, who is batshit insane in her own right, honestly has one of the greatest relationships in the voice acting industry. I want to say it's borderline Yanni! The two first met both passing the same audition and both getting second prize. Under the same agency, they both picked the option of going to the training school and, well, presumably train together. Having the exact same starting point, it's no wonder that these two would start to form a rivalry. Now this is literally a shonen plot. As their career developed, both did amazing growing their name, and Rieri even got the exact same Newcomers Award 1 year after Ue-sama. However, as time went on, while Ue-sama wasn't doing bad by any means, Rieri started to have a huge blow up with Megumin and Emilia, and Ue-sama actually very honestly mentioned being jealous of Rieri before. But as best friends, Ue-sama knew this wasn't a good emotion to have, especially to someone as close as Rieri, and through hours of searching online how to solve this, managed to quell these negative thoughts and look towards the future with her dear friend. This also proved to be a very positive thing for her career, as she too was starting to get big role after big role past 2018, from huge anime to gacha games. Miraculously, as rivals, even though they debut at almost the same time and have a very similar timeline to their career, by 2017, about 4 years after their debut, they somehow almost never met in any anime. As in, they'd never both get roles in the same anime, making them unable to work together. One day they said enough is enough and formed the radio show titled "We Can't Seem to Meet at Work, so we started a radio show." This has been an extremely successful radio with in real life events and has lasted to this very day with almost 200 episodes. The thing I find funny is, they then proceed to both voice Genshin characters from the exact same region, being arguably two of the most popular Genshin characters to date. Right now, their relationship is as good as ever, and I think they've even met each other's families. Anyway, we all know how insanely big Rieri is now, but what you may not know is the ridiculous multi-talents of our cute psychopath. I'm sure you remember the prodigy behavior of last seconding an audition and passing, but what else does she have? Well, art. But not just any art. She's extremely skilled at watercolor art. Yes, like other seiyuu, she sometimes draws super nice art to commemorate her characters. But do they, I don't know, give lessons online and hold art exhibitions? Bro, voice actor should just mean multi-career actor at this point. Yes, in 2023 November, Ue-sama held her own watercolor art exhibition in Tokyo for about 2 weeks, and it looked so classy, like a true artist. It legitimately feels on the level of a main career artist exhibition. No, it's not an anime exhibition. She's not drawing anime characters or anything directly related to anime or even voice acting. It's legitimately a solo art exhibition. And just like an actual artist, each piece is titled and leaves you to interpret the deeper meaning behind it, like a professional gallery. But no, professional artist is not enough. We have to cover all the perceptual senses. Ue-sama was once encouraged back then to start a career as a music artist, as many voice actors do, but she was extremely hesitant. The reason was, back then, she still had a bit of her social anxiety. She claimed to know little of nothing of music and the music industry and has even been called tone deaf before. Struggling with this issue for about a year, and after many consultations with both her parents and friends, Ue-sama finally built up the courage to debut. And, well, if this is tone deaf, we must sing like babbling monkeys to the Japanese. Her debut turned out great. She came to build the confidence to sing many character songs for anime, particularly many for Miu in Kariguda, and she even eventually had a solo life. I mean, look at these views. Tone deaf my ass, that was a lie. But amongst all her music, there is one song that really stands out. The Kira Yoshikage song, Poisonous Hand. You see, at first, many questioned, that's a strange name to attach to your brand. Why would you name your song Poisonous Hand? Especially because this was a song she herself helped write the lyrics for. Yes, she can do that too. Her answer was, it originates from a dream she once had. In this dream, her hand turned poisonous and would kill anyone she touched. Eventually, this poison got so potent that it started to eat away at her own body and killed anyone who even got near. Chased by the authorities for this, in the dream, she killed everyone who got in her way and went out to live and die by herself. Psychopath. So came the formation of Poisonous Hand, and more importantly, revealed her hand fetish. It began as a guest on a radio show. She said, and I quote, "When I look at people whose hands are beautifully rugged and skinny, like something out of a sketch or a textbook, I end up liking them even if I've never talked to them before." Sakurai Takahiro, the other host at the time, immediately showed his hand, to which Uesama just said, "No." She also commented on voice actress Shiraishi Haruka's hands, saying, "Pretty, but not quite there." If there's a professional industry for handists, get Uesama. She'll diagnose you with ugly. And the last and most obvious of her talents is, well, her voice. Yes, she's a voice actress. Since she has that insanely calming, whispery voice that can go transition into a subtle psycho going insane voice, this translates very well into ASMR. And lucky for us, she's done a lot of those. Way more than the average voice actor. If you're interested, there are scenarios where Uesama's a bartender, a princess, your lover One-san, your little sister sleeping with you, and much more. There's even one where Uesama and Takashi Rie do ASMR together, where you become their dog, and they help clean your ears and bathe you. Oh god, not this again! From voice acting to art to singing to bathing a dog, it's evident that Ueda is a prodigy. She grows and learns so fast. Do you see how insane both the audition and going from tone deaf to this singing is? As the years pass by, Uesama only keeps growing, with her popularity now bringing her to several mainstream shonen jump works. My only wish for this talented woman is to continue cutely voicing psychopaths. Because let's be honest, having Psycholaugh as a waifu trait is like having Google Engineer on your resume. You just win.